And welcome to welcome to 2025, our camp season, and our first of these parent meetings, so parent and leader meetings. So let's get started since we've started a little bit late here. My name is Brian Murray. I'm the camp director at RSR, and we are joined this evening by our program director, Quinn Cioccolella. Many of you know Quinn from having been a commissioner the last couple of years. So he's ready to go and doing a great job this week. This is our staff week as we prepare for the first troops coming in next week for all of you. The staff's been doing a great job getting the camp ready, and we're really looking forward to seeing you all. I did want to highlight something that this is particularly of interest to units that are coming from the north towards us. There is a traffic advisory you should be aware of. There's a spot on Route 351 north of Poston Kill that is closed for the duration of the summer. They're doing culvert work. It's closed for 3 months. And so if you are coming from the north, and I don't recall how many from this group may be coming from that direction, if you come in via Brunswick Way, you're going to want to take a different route. You're not going to be able to go via 351. So the recommendations involve 355, Garfield Road, and State Route 2 as alternate routes to get to camp. If you are coming from the south, or if you're coming from Albany, you're probably not going to deal with this. But if it's the for folks that come typically through Route 2 through Brunswick, that this would affect you. We'll talk a little bit about our check-in procedures for Sunday. Our check-in time, as always, is 1 o'clock. Troops can begin gathering in the parking lot at 12:30. Our staff guides will meet you there at 1 o'clock. We do ask that you don't gather before 12:30 because then what ends up happening is, we're still finishing up some last-minute things. We have a staff meeting. We're getting ready to go up and meet you. And if you get there before 12:30, you're going to be just kind of sitting in a hot parking lot for a while. And the kids, it's not a great environment for the kids, not a great start for them. So 12:30 to start gathering, and the guides will be there at 1. When the troop is ready to go, you'll check in with the staff member up in the parking lot area. The troop will be met with a guide who will take them to the campsite. The scoutmaster or whoever's in charge for the week, scoutmaster for the week, whatever your title may be in the rest of the year, is going to come down and see me in the camp office to deliver the roster and check to make sure that we are all good to go with your roster matching the roster that I have for who we are expecting. The guides take the rest of the troop down. Please make sure that the scouts and the leaders that are heading down to the campsite, that the medical form is brought with them down to the campsite, because the medical officer may be right there ready to go, waiting for them close by in the medical checkout area. And if the medical forms are up with the scoutmaster in the office, that will delay the process there. Troops will have a vehicle permit given to them by their guide that will allow one vehicle at a time down to the site to transport gear. Please return the vehicle permit after check-in. That is just for the move-in process. That is not to keep and utilize throughout the week. And please make sure that the reason we limit the vehicles is because, as some of you know, we have roads that are one way only, basically. The cars cannot pass each other on those roads, so we're trying to minimize the number of vehicles that are moving around at any one time. When you get to the sites, please park the trailers that many of you have in such a way that it keeps the road clear. We need to be able to make sure the vehicles can get through, including emergency vehicles and camp vehicles, for that purpose. Health and safety, as you know, hopefully all adults, that's anyone ages 18 and up that are going to be coming and accompanying scouts to camp, must have current youth protection and be cleared through the New York State background check prior to arrival. About a month ago, I sent out a request. If you have folks that are coming that are not part of the Black Pug registration, we need to add them to the roster of our Google form that we have right on the front page of the camp website. You just got right at the top of the front page, there's those important links, and one of those says background check form. You just enter their information in there. We take care of the background check. I'm going to ask that if you have anybody that has not been added to the list, that you please do so by tomorrow so we can run a final check. As you know, Friday is a holiday for most of you, not us, but Friday is a holiday for the folks that do the background checks. And so we need to be able to submit that by no later than tomorrow to make sure that we have time to get the records back from the state office that does that prior to your arrival on Sunday. Also, as you remember from last year was the first year that the new requirement went into effect, that old 72-hour rule went away, and any adults that are accompanying your unit to camp to stay over must be registered with Scouting America, even if it's just one night. They must be registered to your unit with Scouting America as a leader. We will have wristbands that identify our adult leaders. The adults that are staying in camp will receive, Tyvek wrist, or I'm sorry, not Tyvek wristbands, the silicone wristbands similar to what I'm wearing here, not this color, but similar to that. We have those Carnival Fair Tyvek wristbands for guests that are coming onto the property, for example, on Wednesday night's family night barbecue. And that helps us to identify who's there. And that means that everybody coming into camp needs to check in at the office. You have the one group that's checking in as a group on Sunday with the troop, but any adults coming in after that, or anybody, adult or youth coming in after that, needs to check in at the office and be so designated. We do have the camper release form, which is for any scouts that need to leave for any reason during the week, baseball practice or makeup exam or something, they've got to go. There's a form, it is available on our website for parents. They can pre-fill it out and even send it to you so that that scout can be released at that time to those parents. It's always important to remember that we will not let that scout leave unless we get the form, and the form needs to be signed by one of the adult leaders that is remaining in camp. So that makes sure that we know that you know that that scout is leaving, and that we're not looking for a lost camper that actually left with their parent to go to a doctor's appointment or something like that. So that release form is available on the resources page of the camp website. Buddy system is something we always talk about and always promote here at camp, something for the scouts to follow, and also highly recommend for adult leaders to follow as well, but making sure that scouts are traveling together in buddy pairs as they go throughout the camp. We utilize a sign in, sign out system in each program area as well as in your campsite, so that when they sign out of one location, they sign into the next location when they get there. And that helps to keep track of where scouts are throughout the day as well. Brief review of our emergency procedures, because we want you to know this. We won't do the emergency procedures with the whole camp on Sunday night at dinner because it tends to be a longer meal and we just want to be able to get people through, but we will do it at Monday's breakfast. So things to know. We have two sirens that we use for emergency procedures. The one main siren is one that is kind of a flat, kind of a monotone siren. And if you hear that, we need everybody to get to the Tuscodaga field. That is the field right in front of Tuscarora campsite between Tuscarora and Onondaga, right in front of where the Gaga Ball pit used to be. Didn't go away, but it did get moved. The Gaga Ball pit is now, we've relocated it across from the chessboard up by the trading post. So, but right in that area is where we gather for our emergencies. We ask the units to line up by troop, by patrol if you're set up that way, and for everybody to remain standing until the everybody in your unit is assembled. And then once everybody in your troop is assembled, to squat down so that we can look across the field quickly and see who is still waiting on folks. We are making one change to the use of the siren this year, which is that rather than do 3 tests throughout the day, we are going to go with just the 7 a.m. test of the siren. So you'll hear that at 7 o'clock in the morning. We are not going to continue with the 12 o'clock and the 5 o'clock tests for that. So gives our medical officer a little bit more flexibility to not have to be down in the health lodge at those specific moments, especially since he's teaching wilderness first aid in the morning and usually going past noon to do that. So 7 o'clock, we will still do the test. The other siren that we use is what we call the Yelp, and that is one that sounds a lot more like an emergency vehicle, like an ambulance or a police car, and that is for our severe weather situations. And we ask that folks move quickly down to either the dining hall or Seneca Lodge if you hear that, and staff will take attendance to make sure that everyone is accounted for in those two locations. We do have an active shooter policy in place as well. Unfortunately, this is kind of the reality of the world we're in, and your scouts know this well from schools. But we don't use a siren for this. We would communicate if this event were to occur. We would communicate the alert through our radios, through the Remind app system, which we use, and I'll talk about more in a moment, to communicate to folks to seek shelter and seek cover. Really isn't many facilities on property that could provide adequate shelter. So the the message is to basically run into the woods as far as you can and hide to get away from that situation. We've got 1,300 acres. It's a lot of area to hide in until law enforcement comes in and gives the all clear. We will also give you on Sunday when you check in a little strip of flagging tape, marking tape, that we would ask you to tape around the tent platform of the leader in charge for the week. Or if you're in a lean-to, you can tie it around the bunk. And this gives us an indication of who we should go to if there's an emergency in the middle of the night. We get a phone call from home, or there's some severe weather headed in and we want to get everybody moved. We're going to go to you first and help you get up and get the rest of the troop moving so that we can get them to the shelter, or we're going to go to you to help identify where the scout is that we need to reach because of the phone call, the emergency phone call from home. So that is why we do that. I put this picture of Josh up there because he is our health officer. I want to make sure you all know who Josh is and recognize Josh. Those of you that have been around before know Josh. He's been around with us for many years. He is our medical officer. And so as we talk about a few things related to health and safety, all medications that the scouts are bringing to camp do need to be in their original containers. This includes over-the-counter medications. Sometimes we get situations where the prescriptions also must have the name of the patient, the name of the scout on the prescription label. Sometimes we end up with scouts who come to camp and it's mom's name on the bottle or dad's name on the bottle or a sibling because they're like, well, we all take the same thing and it's just we sort of interchange the bottles or whatever. We get that sometimes, and like that's a definite health department no-no. So we need to have the scout's name on it. That means we can't use the 7 day a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday kind of things. It's got to be in the original containers for administration. We do have 3 AEDs located throughout the camp should we ever need access to those, and you should be aware of where to find those. One is stored down inside the ice house, the guard headquarters at the waterfront. The second one travels with Josh in his vehicle, his silver pickup. And anytime he's off duty, if he's out of camp, he hands that AED off to whoever's covering for him at that time. The third one is right on the wall in the conference room of the main office. And so those would be the places to go should you need to access an AED. Uh, One extra thing that we wanted to mention to you this year is to please help us to make sure that we are getting a record of any injuries or illnesses treated in sight. You have a scout that gets a minor cut on their finger from, a knife or something else, maybe they're cutting vegetables and they get a minor cut on their finger, and you're able to take care of it with a troop first aid kit. You put a Band-Aid on it, it's a minor injury. That's fine. You don't need to go to the medical officer to get that treatment. We do, however, need to report it. We do need to make sure that we have a record of that in the camp health and safety logs. So we're going to be putting up QR codes in the campsites that you will have access to and give it to you in the leaders packets so that you can just hit that QR code and it'll pull up a Google form that we use for our staff. All of our staff members on the back of their staff IDs has a QR code that links to this medical report. And you'll have access to that as well. And you basically just go in and fill out where did it happen, when did it happen, who's the patient, and what first aid was administered. And that way Josh can enter that into the records that we need to maintain. Certainly, if you need more assistance than that, then you would go to the medical officer and seek that assistance. But sometimes we know you're treating minor injuries within the campsite. We always ask to limit the vehicle usage in camp. Keep it on Sunday just to the one vehicle that has the pass. Please don't send 2 or 3 vehicles down and say, well, one pass covers all the whole troop. It's one pass per vehicle, so that we can limit the parking, limit the vehicles trying to pass each other on the one-way camp roads. Please also respect the 10-mile-per-hour speed limit. That does begin at the ranger's house at the main entrance to camp. So when you pass the sign at the front gate, from there on, once you hit dirt road, it's 10 miles per hour throughout the whole property. Um, you may have heard we've gotten some rain in the Capital District, like every weekend since November. This being the first weekend, this last weekend that we didn't. So that means we do have areas around camp that are a little soggy, and so for that reason, we ask you to keep vehicles out of the campsites and off grassy areas like fields and things of that sort. That's another reason why we try to limit the vehicles so that vehicles aren't trying to pass each other by driving off the road and into fields and turning up big ruts. It's much less about the four-wheel drive capabilities of your vehicle that you want to show off, and more about the fact that we want to keep the camp looking good and not having big ruts torn up all over the place. And then a big safety issue is please no riders in the backs of trucks or on trailers. All riders in vehicles must be in a seat as they're moving through camp. All right, for communication purposes, I mentioned a few minutes ago, we do use the Remind Alert system that is to send messages out to the units. If you've been with us before, you've used it before. There is one change that Remind seems to have introduced that may affect some of you. They will no longer allow us to send out text messages. To receive it via text, you would need to have the Remind app to get the notifications through the Remind app. And that's a Remind thing. It's not an us thing that they changed that policy. So if you download the Remind app, you add a course, add a class to the list. You can just add class and enter the code that you see on the screen there, 1RSRBSA25. You should still be able to text that number, that code to that number 81010, and it should set this up for you as well. But that'll get you on our alerts to receive messages throughout the week at camp. Of course, we also still have our newspaper that is produced by our wonderful camp historian and assistant ranger, Ed Keelan. That'll be delivered to the tables each morning. Usually he also posts the fire starter to Facebook as well, to his Facebook page, which is the home for the Thunderbird Club. So if any parents are looking to check it out on a daily basis, they can look in and see what's going on at camp. Have a few different emails here for you. My email is campdirector@rsrbsa.org. Quinn, who's going to be speaking in a moment, is program director at rsrbsa.org, same format.
You are, yeah.
But we also have our cook, and I'll talk about food in a second here, but our cook, Sean Dibble, is available at food@rsrbsa.org, and Josh is medical@rsrbsa.org for our medical officer. So all these emails are also available to you on our camp website if you need to look up any of that information. All right, so I mentioned dining services. We do a dining hall, a buffet style service in the dining hall, and Sean is back for another season with us. He does a great job for us and does a really nice job. He's really committed to making sure that all scouts and leaders have their dietary needs taken care of. If that means any allergies that need to be addressed or special dietary restrictions, he's going to work hard to make sure that those are dealt with and prepared for. But obviously it is much, much better if he knows about those in advance so that we can ensure that the food is here. If a scout comes in on Sunday and sits down with him, and Sean learns for the first time about a
And you don't have to wear a bra with it?
We have okay. So the
Somebody said you don't have to bra with
yeah,
it.
yeah. I'm muting folks. If folks could just mute themselves, that would be helpful. I'm losing the mute button here. So we're just getting some side conversation. The QR code there is to link to the dietary restrictions form so that folks can enter their information, let Sean know he has access to that to start looking in to see what people might have for needs for next week. All right, Wednesdays we do the campsite lunch. Patrol cooking is an option at other times during the week, basically from Monday breakfast to Friday dinner, other than Wednesday lunch, which is everybody will be provided with the same meal. There is an option to order off kind of an a la carte menu for other meals during the week to do patrol cooking if you'd like. Totally an optional program. We do ask that if you're doing patrol cooking, we got to make sure that there are adult leaders with the scouts that are doing that. And that doesn't mean that the whole troop has to eat out. You could have scouts that are working on a cooking merit badge or working on some cooking skills, eat in the campsite with 2 Deep leadership out there, while the rest of the troop and other leaders go into the dining hall. That's fine. But we do just need to make sure that the proper youth protection guidelines are being followed. We do a garbage collection each evening and ask that you put the trash out by the entrance to your campsite before dinner. And we always ask for before dinner. Obviously, we're not picking up until after dinner. So if you are cooking dinner in the campsite, we will catch that as you're finishing up and putting your trash out. But for everybody else that's not eating in the campsite, we ask you to put your trash out before dinner, because as we all know, what happens after dinner's over? Everybody scatters to every corner of the camp to go do evening program, and nobody goes back to put the trash out. So we will, excuse me, we will pick that up for you. And we ask, even if it's just a little bit, we don't do the pickup on Sunday night because you really haven't generally been there long enough to generate a lot of trash, but you can always bring anything down to the dining hall and take care of that at dinner time. But even if it's just a little bit of trash, put it out so that we're not attracting animals to the campsites. Of course, Wednesday is our family night barbecue. Service begins at 6 o'clock for that. Tickets are available online. This has worked out really well the last couple of years to have everybody pre-order their tickets. Makes the check-in process much smoother and faster. And you can order those tickets online at trcscouting.org. Go to the calendar for the council calendar, and you'll find the week one barbecue night on there. You could also find that link on that important links section of the camp website at rsrbsa.org. Prices are stayed the same as last year, $18 for ages 11 and up and $15 for age 10 and under. And it's pig roast and chicken barbecue, as you can see in the picture there, with a host of sides of various salads and beans and various other things that make for a great barbecue feast. Please remind folks that all guests coming into camp, including on Parents' Night, do need to stop at the camp office. That is a youth protection thing. That is a security thing for the camp. It doesn't matter. Yes, we understand that on Wednesday night, the line gets a little bit longer because a lot of people are arriving at about the same time. But that is where you will pick up your tickets if you pre-ordered them online. We will give you the actual physical tickets, and we will sign folks in and out. These tickets, no, these tickets are just for family members coming to visit. This does not apply to the campers, nor does it apply to adult leaders who are registered to be in camp for that time. So if you're an adult leader that's registered as one of the leaders for the troop that evening, that's your dinner. We would be feeding you dinner regardless. So that you do not need tickets. The only people that need tickets are guests that are coming off the property to participate. And of course, campfire that evening afterwards. So we got a little bit of time after dinner to just enough time for the scouts to show off their campsites and what they've been working on. And then we all head over to the campfire area for a campfire, which is largely put on by the scouts. So it's a really good time. Troop photos are taken on Monday night, weather permitting. We will do those outside the dining hall right after dinner. If you would like to order printed copies of the photos, they are $10 each, and that's totally optional to individuals. And whoops, didn't mean to jump that far. We will take those photos and they get printed up in a nice border with the troop number and everything, and get returned to you by the end of the week before your departure. The one thing that we usually ask you when we're taking the picture, we need to know how many you would like to have printed. We can certainly collect the money from you at that time. Although if you need to pay by credit card or something, we can settle up in the office after that. And the other question we usually ask you is, would you like your chartered organization's name printed on the photo? And that's totally optional as well. But if you would like the church or school or civic organization that sponsors your unit to have their name printed on the picture, you just got to let us know what it is, and we will get that printed up nicely on the frame. All right, I'm talking about our camp liaisons. It's a little bit of a fancy name for commissioners. Our council commissioner leadership has asked that we not use the commissioner term to describe people that are doing evaluations, because they're trying to promote a more sort of advisory and mentorship role for the commissioners, not an evaluative scorekeeping role for the commissioners. So we're going with that. That sounds good.
Throw the
We like
score
that.
out the window then.
We like that idea. So we're still want to encourage the scouts to do a good job of picking up the campsite and cleaning the site. So we won't use the term camp commissioner, but campsite improvement projects are possible, right? They can get your extra points on that. We do use that for the honor troop each day. And the honor troop has the honor of lowering the colors at after dinner, or sorry, before dinner, and raising the flags the next morning as well. The folks that are coming in will also, this is a great opportunity to do the commissionerly type things, to be a liaison, to help communicate anything between the unit and what we need to know in camp leadership. And we like to make sure we have the latrines, one small handful of wood shavings down each seat, each hole, each day for the part of the latrine cleaning process. The quartermaster is open whenever the trading post is open if you need any equipment for usage for campsite improvement projects or anything like that. Quartermaster is open anytime the trading post is open. So you can always check in there with Janet and she'll be able to help you out with that sort of stuff. Quinn, gonna turn it over to you to talk about some program resources.
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name is Quinn. Many of you may know me. I'm the program director. So some quick things. We have a merit badge pamphlet lending library. The books are located in the different program areas. I know Natural's slowly phasing out the books, but it's still a valuable resource right now, and a lot of them are pretty up to date to the most part, and they're very useful. Merit badge verification forms can be used for leaders to confirm completion of merit badge prereqs. Just let us know. And then midweek progress reports will be available Wednesday afternoon for everyone to see that. So you may see the picture. I'll bring that up in a moment. So for our programs, we have Campfire Sunday and Wednesday night. So Sunday is generally more staff oriented, and Wednesday night is really focused for the troops to participate and engage. Our camp-wide game is again on Tuesday with a theme around racing towards success, as our resident Cub camp is racing. And so we are doing a little spin with that for the camp-wide game. Our open programs, we have our shooting, swimming, crafts. We also have tomahawks in the archery range, scout skill games, trail to first class. We do have a takeout. It's going to be by appointment. Leave no trace awareness award in games. Remote control car track, which is new. It's going to be behind the office. It's going to be really unique. It's going to be something that will be available during specific times throughout the week to kind of take that RC car and use it behind the office in the track. And a really big project that our Rangers and team have been working on is disc golf, which is, I've been seeing some of the different areas. It's phenomenal. It's going to be a really good time. TTFC will be housing the disc golf, and Logan from Handicraft, our director, will be organizing that during evening program throughout the week. Brian, anything to add?
Nope, that's for the golf merit badge that Logan's going to be running
Yes.
for those that signed up for golf merit badge.
So a new addition this year is a award called Super Troop. For those that have been out of council before, there's quite a few camps that do this. It's a unique award where it is something that only one troop can get it per week. And the purpose of this award is to push open program. It's going to be a list of all different activities to participate as a patrol or a troop, engage. Like, hey, if someone in your troop gets a bullseye, you get 10 points, you can get it signed. And it's not necessarily something, it's going to be unique in different ways. You'll never be able to get all of them completed. And it's built in a way that troops of any size still have a similar chance, because it's based off of percentages of participating. So like half your troop or your whole patrol and things of that nature. The goal is to promote patrol and troop participation in open programs and activities that we offer. It's not based on any merit badge completions as much as the actual activities happening at Rotary. And it's just a fun competition that we'll do each week and every week. And it's optional activities. So different programs that we offer for adult programming is aquatic supervision, which includes swimming and water rescue, and as well as paddle crafts safety. We also have, as a note, merit badge completion day. Is it August 10th?
Yes.
Okay. On August 10th. Okay, next, so our STEM week, which is a really big week. I know a lot of it's something that I really enjoy doing. A lot of us come in as provisionals. It's August 3rd to the 9th.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. We have chess merit badge, like electricity merit badge, nuclear science, healthcare professions, Nova, Mendel's Minions, Nova Start Your Engines, jam packed with a lot of different activities. And we have a lot of different people coming in to make sure that can be added to the program during our normal summer camp to make it happen. It's a lot of fun.
We're continuing to use Blackbug for our camp registration as well as for merit badge records. So if you've used that the last couple of years, same process will be the same, and we will export those records at the end of the week up into Scoutbook. So that's the program that units are typically using for recording information. We will take care of that for you. One of the last things that we have kind of as part of our official piece here is to just talk about the adult supervision of the program. This is, as we all know, an important part of the element of the scouting program. Quinn talked about the Super Troop program. There will be elements in that program to opportunities for adult leaders to earn points for their troop by helping to support a program area, but with a little extra volunteering hours or something along those lines. But one concern that we've had over several years, is there are times where scouts congregate in large groups in ways that are not always the most scout-like or productive, and it helps to have adult leaders there. That would be for like the Gaga Ball pit, the showers area, things of that sort. So we ask if you've got a large group that are going down to a program area or I'm sorry, not to a program, to one of these types of activities, that you send a leader with them so that we have some adult supervision happening in those. Those are not spaces that are typically staffed by the camp staff. So if you've got a group going down, that helps us to make sure that scouts are behaving the way we would like them to behave. I saw a question in the chat about could scouts bring their own RC cars? Sure. They can bring them and use the track. That platform that you saw in one of the pictures a couple slides ago is the platform that's in the center of the track so that they can drive the cars around there. So if they'd like to bring their own cars, they could. They're welcome to do so. Okay. So I apologize for the technical issues that we've run in here tonight, and having to switch over to the Zoom and having to do it quickly on the fly. I've apparently gone into a membership that does not have full access to this. So I've got this little timer that's ticking down that tells me I've got 2 minutes left before this thing's going to close out because I didn't log into one of the council accounts. So what I would like to do is I'll just answer these couple of questions quickly here. Yes, we do have some equipment available in the Quartermaster. A lot of you come with your own trailers, but we do have some equipment in the Quartermaster that you can check out for cooking. There is a list of what Scouts recommended items that Scouts should bring in our Leader's Guide, so you can check that out. Full page of different things there. The Leader's Guide is on the camp website. That Leader's Guide also includes the prerequisites list for our merit badges. All of that information is in there. Quinn just posted the link to the resources page of our website. A safe place to keep money that scouts are bringing to use, that would be within the unit. It would be the best thing. It's not something that we have a safe or anything like that for us to store scouts' money. If there's concerns about that would be something to resolve within the troop about sharing it with the adult leader or something to that effect for that. The good question about the archery situation there. That pause that you might have heard about on national lasted like 24 hours. That's long gone. Yes, we have archery. Yes, we have shooting sports, range and target activities, etc. This is about to close, so I'm going to reopen at the same link and we can continue the questions. I apologize for this, but it'll go out and I'd be happy to take your questions. You're just going to have to log back in again, and I apologize, but I can answer any further questions that you might have on that. So I'll see you right back here in a second. If you'd like to ask more questions, we can take time to do that.